Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for another action-packed, something-filled episode of the OverMark Podcast. We're up to number 82 here. You got me, one half of the co-host. You got another half of the co-host and Dave right here. I'm pointing at him. There we go, Dave, you got it right. And we're going to bring to you a little bit of wrestling, some video game shit, a little bit of MMA. We'll recap last week's fights. We'll look forward to next week's. And beyond all that shit, what's going on, Dave?
Well, not a whole lot. Just it's Wednesday. Hump day, as everybody has reminded me the whole day, and seemingly each Wednesday I am reminded of that. That said, we are almost over the hump, so that's cool. Almost the weekend. We got some things coming up tomorrow that'll bleed over into the weekend that we'll talk about later. It was nice and cool today. I think for probably the next 8 to 10 days where I live, it's going to be like 55 to 80. I could do without it getting all the way up to 80, but at least that's only for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
But not unhappy about it.
It's going to be raining, but we've got some shit we can do inside at work tomorrow, so that should be all right. Should be a pretty not too bad day. I will end up putting a floor in somebody's place, and that won't take too long. It's an easy one. It's just straight left to right. The only shit you'll have to cut is like the parts where the doors,
like
cut
the
off a little
spots.
bit. Yeah. But beyond that, it shouldn't be too bad. We'll have to rip up these people's nasty ass carpet that's been there for whoever knows how long. But yeah, overall,
get you some gloves and some coveralls.
Yeah, it won't. It'll be pretty easy. It'll be done in like a minute. The ripping out part, it's just all nasty. But
we did that here, and then the carpet was so big, like carrying it out the hallway was going to be a pain in the ass because you'd have to go and then turn. I mean, you've been in hallways that are like that, and it's just not conducive. So that bedroom had like 2 big front windows, and so we opened the windows and pushed the screen out and just rolled it up and shoved it out the window. So that's something for you to keep in mind. Path of least resistance. Sometimes you have to shove it out the window.
It's a trailer, so it won't be that bad, and it's right by the front door. Yeah, so it's just a part of the living room. It's not very
roll it
big.
up and drag it right on out that front door.
I think it's 17 by 14 or something like that. So not much, but yeah. Anyway, this week's been pretty easy so far, and then my bosses are like gone fucking fishing. So like we sat around for a fucking good chunk of the day not doing shit. We did get done the things that they did tell us to do, so I guess there's that. But here we are doing the podcast. Like I told you before, I was just playing Thrill of the Fight, and I was on the public test realm, and they added like a new collision system and some other shit, so it like reacts better. I could punch like pretty fast, and it couldn't keep up when I was like doing my fast shit. On the new one it can, and it works pretty good, so I can actually get more of a workout because I can like punch quicker and like counter quicker and all that, as opposed to just trying to do big punches, which is what I was normally doing. But it's a fun game, good little way to I don't have a gym or a punching bag or anything, or a place to even put it, but here I got room to just fake punch shit. Better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, moving around and being active is better than not.
Yeah, maybe. That's what they say, but what do they know?
Well, I don't know. How long do they live?
Who are they?
Who are they? That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Well, I got a question for you.
What's that?
How many tampons would it take to fill Niagara Falls?
10.
Yep, 10 really big ones. How'd you know?
I just had a feeling.
All right. I don't know where the fuck that came from.
I don't either. That's okay though. Where does most of this stuff come from?
Well, it comes from probably smoking. I'm pretty much smoking all day, so we got that, and then I just roll on home, and I keep doing it, and here I am. I'm noticing my receding hairline on camera every time we get on. It's slowly disappearing. You don't seem to have much of a problem with that. You seem like you're doing okay.
It's hanging in there. Let's see here.
Yeah,
It's
you're just doing the same shit as mine. Those
not what it
sides.
once was, but it's crept back a little bit there compared to where it once was. But still very thick and luxurious, as y'all can see.
Well, I think I got something that's pretty thick and luxurious.
Uh-oh.
It's this episode of the podcast.
Well,
That was a fucking good one, huh?
that is. I like that. I like that transition a lot. But
why do you always talk like a whore?
You tell me? Yeah, Chrissy.
I don't know.
Tony ended up hating him because he was a fucking dope addict.
Well,
he was a liability.
I got my lottery tickets here.
Good luck.
Maybe we'll. We got one is tonight. We got the Powerball, and we got the Mega Millions on Friday. Let's go. Maybe we can do this show full time if that happens.
I tell you what, the production will fucking jump up because you imagine we could hire somebody to do all the production work and stuff, and we just
and then our job would just be this.
Yeah, we just show up. People be like, man, your guys' podcast suck, and it's like, you fucking suck. Come here and say that to our face, you fucking punk. I feel like you're gonna press something.
I was gonna, and
too late.
The moment has passed, and plus I almost pressed the wrong thing, which I could have been.
Well, let's move on to the right thing, and that's going to be our main wrestling topic of the evening here. It's one that I pulled out of my ass, we're going to toss it from ass directly to you. And
wow.
speaking to you, I'm going to tell you that it's going to be, what if Cody Rhodes never left AEW? You gotta, and he, just if he never left AEW, I guess would have been the main one.
Hell yeah.
What do you think would happen, Dave?
Well, I think I got you a little bit there that you missed that one during the pre-show deal.
Yeah.
But I sorry everybody, that's an inside joke. We're derailing the show completely here. Anyway, if Cody Rhodes never left AEW, they probably would not be any better off than what they currently are, because he would probably be horribly misused. Well, he did wrestle very good matches there, though. A lot of pretty much every match that he did was good. I always thought his promos were good.
Remember, people called it the Codyverse. His shit was his only stuff on the show that was like that. He would have weigh-ins at some of the shit he was doing. He was just trying to do what he thought was the shit that he liked, which is what he learned from his dad, old school wrestling.
Yeah,
but he wasn't doing much of that, towards the end. And it seems like Tony doesn't really let the EVPs do too much. I'm sure he listens to them to some extent, but when it comes to the guy making the final decision, that's Tony, and that's probably part of the reason I feel like Cody left. But we can kind of look at what he was doing in AEW, and he had multiple time TNT title runs, right? They let him have it just before he left, if you remember.
Didn't he end up dropping it to Sammy, I think?
I believe so. Look how much
nice ladder match.
But look how much that did for Sammy. But anyways, he couldn't win the world title. He did some stipulation that barred him from challenging from that. Everybody wanted him to go heel, kind of somewhat what they wanted to do now. But it's just not going to happen then, and it's not going to happen now. He doesn't want to do it. But do you think if he stayed that he eventually would have ended up going heel? Was there any other direction that he could have gone?
I don't really know. Thinking about it, I have a hard time picturing him doing it, but it doesn't mean he couldn't. I don't think that he. Can you think of ever seeing him be a heel?
He somewhat was a Stardust, and when he was dashing Cody Rhodes, he was.
Yeah, I guess. And when he was with Legacy with Randy Orton, I guess a lot of early on in his career, he was a heel. He just wasn't a very good heel.
Well, not as what he's doing now. When he finally got over as himself to some extent, or the American Nightmare, whatever that may be.
I did enjoy the dashing Cody Rhodes a little bit with the mask and stuff.
But either way, I feel like the destination for him would have been go heel and then break the whole stipulation for not challenging for the
Title
belt,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been the way to go. I mean, what other thing else could you do? And maybe having him around to have another star would have helped them because there's times where other guys got hurt. So, there are situations where I feel like it could have been a positive for them having him around. But I feel like you take the flip side, and you look. So if he still stays over in AEW, what happens in WWE? Well, what was it, 39 and 40? I'm always off on these things. He challenged Reigns for the title in 39, right? And then 40 he ended up winning. Or is it 40 and then
41
41?
was last year. So I think it was 40.
Okay, so 39 and 40.
Something like
Remember
that.
he and then
That sounds right to me.
and then was the other one that he had at WrestleMania against Rollins when he first came back?
Yes.
Okay, so we have the 3 at the 38. So we got all those nailed down.
Something like that.
So they end up not having their main events for WrestleMania that year in Cody. I'm sure that they would have ended up finding their way, but they were going through a pretty hot period with Reigns at the time. They were going through kind of a boom period creatively with the Bloodline, and Cody was like kind of, I guess, the perfect foil for him at WrestleMania for those years. So maybe it does affect WWE in a way where they're not doing as hot. I don't think it would have affected him that much, but he definitely was. They've had a problem with creating successful baby faces throughout the years, right? And then Cody was kind of the first guy to come along and break that mold. Now I feel like they got more than they've had right now in a long time, especially in like Punk, and then you go even further into LA Knight, and they have one waiting right there that they haven't jumped into. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like different angles of this, but in the end, like how big of a shift do you? I mean, you can only guess, right? But would this have been a big deal if he would have stayed?
Probably not as big a deal as we would like for it to be. Um,
Well, he
it
was the first
definitely
guy to.
wouldn't have been a big a deal as him going was.
Well, he was the first guy to kind of jump over to WWE from AEW. It just so happens that
Yeah.
he was the EVP, so that made it a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And he
And
took
then
Brandy with him.
a lot of the people that were or are close with Cody are people that ultimately chose to come over.
Yeah, Ricky Saints. I don't know if Will Hobbs is close, but he's over now. And then, like I said, he
Right.
brought Brandy, who's like a generational talent.
Oh yeah. Well, he was close with Punk and
Yeah.
Cody.
Yeah.
Old
I,
Hobbs.
I just think in the end, really, when you look at the whole thing, I don't know if you would say that it would make the biggest impact, but I definitely think it makes an impact, and I think it does. I think it loses more money for WWE than it does AEW, right? I think WWE's made a lot of money with Cody since he came back.
100%. I don't think that he would have been the same kind of draw in AEW that he is for WWE. I don't know why. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, the crowd didn't like him over there. He was too sports entertainer, right?
Yeah. Which is wild because they ate up Jericho and all of that goofy stuff that he was doing with MJF, where they're like dancing around and shit and singing a musical.
Chris Jericho's a proven legend, so I think to some extent him and Cody aren't the same.
Right. That's fair. Even still, yeah.
Jericho could have never gone into AEW and been a Hall of Famer in anywhere in the world. So, I don't know. Cody, if he left AEW and then retired, I don't think you could have said that, right?
Yeah,
he's
fair.
a Hall of Famer now.
Yeah.
So I feel like in the end, really, was the best decision for Cody, like hands down.
Yeah. I agree.
Because he wasn't going anywhere in AEW. Don't you think?
Oh, Cody. Yeah. No, he hit his ceiling.
Well, they did it to him. He could have had a good run as the world champion, but they fucking booked him out of it. He wasn't doing any good programs against any of the top guys. He was stuck in their middle card.
The fuck?
What's wrong?
I'm just having an issue with my chair. It's not a big deal.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about it later, but yeah. Go ahead.
Nope, that's it. I was just my chair was giving me shit. We're good.
Well,
Sorry about that.
I was just gonna kind of say, all these interesting what ifs, what could have been, but I feel like the wrestling world right now would definitely be a little bit different, and WrestleMania for sure would be different. That's for fucking sure. If he was still on AEW television, they'd probably be better off now.
Yeah. Well, WrestleMania has lost its shine, according to AJ Styles, a little bit. So excuse me, he might be right though.
I think in the end, though, probably the big loser here is AEW for not having Cody, because regardless of everything, like I'm a Cody fan, and I would have enjoyed seeing him do anything on their show more than probably a lot of the things that they have going on now. That show's lost its identity, man. All it ever is just like, let's just sign the next people. So we got the Bucks, Moxley, Omega, a couple other people, and then anytime we sign a new toy, let's put them in the spotlight, and we'll show them till we're tired of them, and then it'll just the same rinse and repeat. See the same guys. Occasionally you'll get new talent signed in. Eventually they'll fade to the back, and rinse and repeat, right?
Exactly. That's exactly how it goes.
Well, I think we covered that one. Unless you got anything you want to add.
Nope. Keep getting distracted by my headset over there.
I do have one more thing to add. The big loser from Cody fucking coming over to WWE is LA Knight.
Yeah. He was on the cusp of main event, and he's been
CM Punk and Cody come over.
Yeah, I mean they cock-blocked the shit out of him.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it is what it is. The nature of the business.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the nature of the business and things being up, we got some good news as far as the AEW Dynamite ratings, huh, TJ?
Yeah, we do. Sorry, I got a little text that distracted me, but
oh, that's okay. I was like, oh shit, we weren't ready to move on there. My bad.
No, we were. But anyways, so we've
I'm
been
texting him. We're doing the show right now. No, I'm just kidding.
But we've been we follow their ratings when they change, and we were talking about all the Nielsen changes. They changed them at Hurt Wrestling, then they changed them back, and it seemed to do even better than before. So yeah, they had their best fucking viewership since Blood and Guts, I believe, in last August. I think that was what it was, but 692,000. That's nothing to sneeze at, and they just keep the scene trending upward and upward. But they did have Omega versus Swerve in their main event, so I think that probably helped.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good draw there.
It was a 0.12 in that demo, which isn't up much, I don't think, from what they had before. But they were up almost like 100K viewers from the previous week.
Yeah,
which is
we were seeing them down around like the 500 and in the 500s. So I mean, this is a nice uptick from where they have been.
Well, when they were like when the ratings were, or the Nielsen changes affected them negatively, they were down like 300 a couple times and 400s. So I mean, they're doing way better than that, and this is really good for them, man. Because if they kept drifting in that direction, that renewal wasn't looking too hot, huh?
No, what was it called again? Big Data Plus Panel or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Fucking who greenlit that as the name? Fire that guy.
I don't know.
Sir, if you're out there and you hear this, you're a dumb fuck. You may be smart at other things, but in this instance, you are stupid as fuck. I don't know how you hear that, and you're like, "Yep, that's it. Let's call it that."
Whoever it was, my dogs are going off down, and they changed it up a little bit, and who knows? I'm sure they're going to change it again. This won't be the last time they change it. Well, not sure.
Is it Rocky or Michael?
It's Rocky. He sounds like something's wrong.
Oh shit!
I'm sure he's fine.
One of the things it makes me think of is, in addition to the Rocky films, of course, is the wonderful film of our youth, The Three Ninjas.
Yeah.
Rocky loves Emily.
Oh no.
Yeah, people will get that reference. If Brandon listened to the show, he would get that reference. Tim will probably get that reference. It'll be like 2:00 in the morning, and I'll get some message on Discord, and he'll be like, "Yo, fucking Rocky loves Emily. Yo, what's going on there?"
Yeah, I saw that. Your lights fucking with you?
No, apparently I didn't shut off the TV.
Oh shit. Okay. But yeah,
So
sorry.
there was pyro and lights, and I don't know what was going on over there. Some
I
kind of
wonder.
wrestling.
So I wonder they're not reporting who's the numbers on Max though. I wonder how many they're getting on that. They could
Yeah,
be
that's
looking pretty
true.
good. Like they could have a pretty decent amount of people watching that
They
show.
could be closing in on 1 million, or close, probably under, but yeah, probably still close, the 800, 900s.
Well, here's the problem: is
Every,
like people still aren't going to the shows.
yeah, well,
Why hasn't that happened? Usually, when you
I
have
have
better attendance,
theories
people.
that we've covered in other videos that people responded to negatively, so probably just keep those theories to myself, but I'm sure you know what they are.
Huh? I don't know.
Let's just say that you wouldn't want to be around a lot of these people.
Oh, what? Some stinky fans?
Yeah,
I've
people that don't
experienced
know
that
what
at the show.
deodorant is, they never took a fucking shower before. I don't understand why people are so adverse to bathing. It's like, oh, I'm going to an event. All right, cool. What time are we leaving? Well, we're gonna leave at 7. All right. Well, at 6:30 or 6 o'clock, I'm gonna go get in the shower, right? And then after the shower, you get dressed, brush your teeth, all that nonsense. Normal stuff that you do when you're getting ready to go do something. And yeah, it's annoying because you take a shower to go out, to come home, and then take another shower after you've been out and done whatever. But oh well, I don't want to go out and be a gross retard.
Yeah. People will go to their pay-per-views, like the bigger ones, especially. They'll do okay there, but their TV shows. I've been to a couple of them. The one where I paid to have good money to sit up front, that was a good event, but I didn't have to sit near any stinky people during that one. But speaking of stinky people, pick a wrestler who could work in any era, Dave.
Okay.
Oh
Well,
shit.
guy that could work in any era.
Yeah.
This is a super easy one for me. Gunther. It's immediately first person that came to mind when we
Okay.
were talking about this. He'd potentially be an even bigger heel in some of the earlier eras than what he is now. Outside of maybe the Attitude Era, where the whole anti-hero thing was was a little bit harder to be a heel then. He probably would still manage to be a heel, pretty much
Oh, he
doing the
would.
same shit that he's doing now. To be honest with you. So yeah, Gunther.
Everybody would have liked working with him too. He seems like a pretty respectful guy. I think that's a pretty awesome pick. And I just did it based off size alone, but Big Bill, which is funny, I picked this because it's like this is the worst era for him to work in, and especially for the guy he's working for. But I feel like if he was around back in the day, like he would have been a star. Like if you would have had him in the 80s or 90s, they would have definitely used him well. He was bigger than most of the big guy that any big guys back in the day, right?
Yeah, what's he like,
In
six
ring?
eight, like that?
No, he's fucking like 7'2".
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
he's huge. Remember,
I
he's
have
seven
I have
foot
some
tall,
opinions about Big Bill.
and you can't teach that. Remember?
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, remember all the big guys back in the day? They were terrible. He's way better than they are in the ring, and he
Yeah,
can talk better than most of them too. You can't tell
I
me if he
feel
wasn't
like
he wasn't around in like the 70s that he wouldn't have been a star.
oh, he would have.
What were
I
you
don't
just
know why
saying?
I'm trying to argue against this. I don't know. He's like a charisma vortex to me.
I feel like that's just because they have him. Wouldn't you be a charisma vortex if you were 7 foot tall, fucking having guys kick you and falling down that are 5'11"? How
God
are you
damn it.
supposed to
He's
sell
just
that?
not used right. Yeah,
That's what exactly. But he could be a
that's
huge
definitely
star
part of it.
now. The
Yeah,
fact that he's not in like the AEW World Championship scene is fucking nuts. But it's just
he's
because they
been
want to.
misused and overexposed, probably.
Excuse me. They want everybody to kill themselves in matches. I think is the problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he definitely would have done. You put him in like the 80s, especially like the Attraction era, like
Yeah.
that. Man. Yep.
And he ran his mouth on people. It would work pretty good.
Yep. That's a good choice. Even though I'm not
Thanks.
personally a fan of him, I'm not disputing the fact that he would work in the other eras. I'm not crazy about Big Bill. I don't know.
That's fair.
I don't know what it is.
You don't have to.
He's-
Sometimes you just
he's
don't like people.
Chicken with no seasoning.
Again, that's fair. You know, you don't have to like somebody.
Yeah. I mean, Gunther's not necessarily, he's kind of bland too. I'm not,
Unlike Gunther, it's all
I
the
do
same.
too.
It's all the shit they're having these guys do. If they have good shit
Yeah.
for them to do, it'll be good. They just do the best with what they can.
Yeah. Well, speaking of people doing the best that they can, what we could move on here and talk about
Go
people that
away.
do. Go ahead.
Well, you said, speaking of people that said they can be doing the best they can, and I was like,
Oh,
go
shit.
away.
Before we get into this, Brandon and I have talked about this recently. I think probably you and I too. It seems like with Godsmack, they got a lot of songs about going away, keeping away,
I don't
get
know if
away,
we
get
talked about this
back.
on the last podcast, Dave.
Did we?
Yeah.
Man.
At one point, I literally bring up the Keep Away CD, and it's up on the thing.
That's right. I don't know. I just it comes up a lot for some reason.
It's hilarious. That's why.
Get away.
Yep. Keep back.
Yep. Oh man. That completely derailed me. Fucking. Anyway, we're moving on. We got the most technical wrestler out of these four people coming at you rapid fire. Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Ric Flair, TJ. Who do you say, sir?
I picked Shawn, but I feel like he's more versatile, and even though maybe these other guys can do a specific technical style better than him, he can do way more than each one of these guys can.
Okay, so he's like more adaptive. So
Yeah.
you're using that as
Yeah.
that is definitely a
more
technical
spectacular.
skill. Yeah. For me, like I looked at it and I was like technical. And I was like I had to pick between like Kurt and Brett, but Kurt won a gold medal, right? Like literal amateur gold
Yeah.
medal wrestler. I love Bret Hart, but I had to go with Kurt Angle on this one.
That's fine. I think that's fair. Kurt's the man.
Yeah, I usually give Bret. If there's a category to pick Bret Hart, I'm usually gonna pick Bret Hart. But
Kurt was way more intense
Brett.
than Brett.
Yeah, love you, Kurt.
Yeah, but like Kurt was more intense than Brett for sure, and he
Definitely.
did some pretty wild shit that Brett's never done.
Man, that's one of those matches that I wish that we could have got. And I know they tried to make it. Kurt and Vince McMahon tried to make that match happen, and it was after Brett had already had his stroke, so it was never going to happen. But man, what could have been? That would have been insane.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Goldberg.
Yep, you blew it.
Hope somebody kicks him in the head.
I'm sure
I shouldn't
life's
say that. That's fucked
I'm
up.
sure life's metaphorically kicking him in the head. With AJ Styles getting that send off that was better than the one he had.
Million times better. Why don't we talk about that for a second?
Oh
Man.
Yeah, I didn't know that
They had everybody.
I knew it was going to be like a tribute show, but I didn't know it was going to be like throughout the whole show, and the whole show was going to be built up to him. I thought he was just going to come out and they were going to do a segment for it. But it was kind of like the Ric Flair send off. They did a good job. It was nice.
It was very well done. I thought the same thing, that it would have been more like at the start of the show, everybody's all hyped for AJ Styles, and then they come out and they do like he cuts a promo and leaves his shit and then bees out.
Actually, that's not what I thought at all. I'm a retard. I'm sure YouTube's gonna love that, but
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, but anyways, what I really think is that I thought that they were gonna do a program with him. I thought he was coming back. He was gonna do a retirement segment, and then they were gonna get another match out of him for Mania.
Swear it was. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't happen.
Well, he did do that once already, though.
Well,
remember he came out with the blue pastel suit as a reference to Mark Henry. They talked about that even.
I thought we were gonna get something similar.
Yeah,
and it didn't happen. A little
it's
disappointing.
very classy. Not a dry eye on the stage, man. Those people love AJ.
So have you seen how everybody's saying oh, they locked him in the WWE Hall of Fame, so now he can't go to AEW. It's like, well, he's not forced to do the Hall of Fame thing, and you have to agree to do it. Like, they just can't make you do it if you don't want to. So it's like, I'm sure they're going to get him in a Legend deal. He's probably going to be like, still doing a little bit of work for him in some capacity, but no, he's not going to AEW.
He'll probably be down in NXT with Shawn Michaels, or he's gonna some kind of production role or creative role.
Well,
like he's something with shaping the new people.
Well, I mean, let's take a look real quick. Let me find it, Dave, real quick. I sent you the card for Dynamite. So, like, he could go over, and there could be some awesome matches that he could have in AEW with Kenny and, like, Will. But then, like, so you look at the card that they have tonight, and they have a High Mile Madness, anything goes. So that's no DQ. So I don't care what you call it. That's just putting a hat on the hat, right?
Yeah.
And it's FTR in The Demand versus Jungle Jack Perry, the Young Bucks, and the Rascals. So the Young Bucks are faces now? What? Why would I care about this match at all? So it's a 5-on-5.
Stop the terror.
You don't have anything better that you could do for the main event of your show? I don't know. And then they have like Moxley versus El Clone, Mark Davis versus Brody King, Orange Cassidy versus Gabe Kidd. So it's like, it's cool, like, that he could go over there, and there are some marquee matchups that he can have, but they're few and far between. And he's just going to be tossed in shitty multi-man group or matches, right?
Yes.
And other just shit that you don't want to see.
I mean, that's pretty much the whole show, I feel like, as of late. And I don't know. I don't want to get shit on and get accused of being a hater, but it's just been so hard to watch.
We can move on then. Yeah, it has been. It's funny because it's like the further they get away from the identity that they had at the beginning, which is the part of which is the AEW I like the first 2.5 years. The further they get away from that, and they kind of had it locked down around the time that Punk debuted and Bryan and Cole. They had everything that you needed there for a successful promotion. It was still somewhat sports-based presentation, and then all that's gone. And then all the guys that they've tried to build up are gone. And it's just the same people, like we said, the same people they've been pushing, and then some new people.
Yep. The 2019, 2020, even 2021 AEW, we've talked about it. You know, you can go back.
I like Chucky
80
T.
some odd episodes.
I like Trent Beretta, when they were teaming up. You remember when they had them with Sue in the minivan, like some of those cool brawl matches? I like some of the shit that they had, They built up to that match for a while. They used to build up to matches that weren't anything to do with the belt. And I don't know, everybody's got a fucking belt now, and I don't know.
None of the belts matter. None of the people matter.
And I'm not saying WWE doesn't have this problem either, by the way. We're just talking about AEW right now. Let's go ahead and move on. I got a question for you again, Dave, since you just kind of asked me one. What's the best catchphrase today in wrestling?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Well, yeah. It's simple. It's to the point. And people love it.
Yeah, they do.
He can get them to do it every single time without fail. Yeah, and it's just it's basic. You don't have to.
He's like, and they're all chanting L.A. Night. Like, he gets some of the biggest pops of the night when he comes out like that.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good one.
I agree. Well, what's yours?
Well, I think, speaking of pretty good, right? This is, and it's funny because I think this one kind of got over by the worst announcer of the year last year is the guy that got this over, right?
Oh, wow. That guy.
Yeah, so it's Trick Williams, Whoop That Trick. That's one of the reasons why he's over right now. Isn't that ironic?
Lemon Peppers. Shout out to Ryan and the Lemon Pepper Steppers. He loves that. He loves Trick Williams.
Isn't that ironic though that like apparently the worst announcer last year is the only announcer that's actually gotten anybody over in any significant manner in the past couple of years? I'm not saying he's the best,
Trick Williams, Stephanie Vakir, he knows how to get these people over because he knows what it takes to be over because he was or is whatever you want to say.
I'm not saying he's the best by any means, but I'm saying he knows He knows what to do. The whole point of a commentator job, and that's to enhance the talent. You know.
Well, the person that is saying that he's the worst at something has never taken, never been in the ring, never taken a bump.
That's correct.
I mean, neither have we, but I don't know.
We've been watching the show for a while.
We're not out here telling you that somebody's the worst something and giving out awards based on it either.
We're just pointing out that a guy that people kind of shit on did something pretty good, and it's gotten this guy over. Whoop that trick.
And
oh man,
that thing's back.
Yeah, well, you leave that thing down there.
Yeah,
I know. Nobody wants to get tased today. Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of tased,
maybe they do want to get tased.
Yep.
Maybe some of that happens in our next segment.
Yeah. Speaking of tased, brother.
That doesn't work for me, dude.
Oh well, I think it will. Funny enough.
Well.
Why
is that?
Well. Keep going. Well.
Oh, I see.
No, we just keep just fucking with you.
Oh, I know.
We got the OverMark Greatest Tag Team Tournament Round 2 right side. So we're gonna wrap up Round 2 here. And we're only 3 weeks away from the finale of this thing. So if you've been following along, you're gonna like these matchups here. And I'm gonna let shit.
Oh no.
It's okay. But we're gonna let Dave take you into this first matchup here. Why don't you jump in, Dave?
Well, after we get out of the hospital and then jail, apparently, we're going to watch the Briscoe brothers wrestle the New Day in a very exciting, high-flying, high-energy match that the New Day comes out victorious. On top. Yeah, they're one of the greatest tag teams of all time, and they're showing that here. Not that there's anything wrong with the Briscoes. They also are highly decorated fellas, but the New Day pulls out the W here, dude. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston New Day, in case if that matters.
Yeah. Well, then we got Beer Money versus Motor City Machine Guns. Why don't you tell us about that, Dave?
Well, everybody knows and loves these teams. They have wrestled each other many times in the past. They had one of the greatest best of tag team series of all times, and I want to say it was 2010, that Motor City ended up coming out on top of the best of 5. Well, in this tournament, Beer Money took the W. So they got one back, so they're even. And Beer Money moves on. And if you watched these guys at all, you know how exciting this match was. Man. I'm still, one of these days, TJ, I'm going to get you to watch those matches. Yep.
I apologize. I was just
inhaling
vapors. But yeah, no, that's awesome.
Do that.
I know that you were looking forward to them exchanging some wrestling maneuvers in this tournament, and they successfully had that happen as they made it through to this point in the tournament. But Beer Money came out on top, and we got match 3 here, and that's going to be the Rock and Sock Connection versus the Hardys. And the Hardys came out here. And I don't think it would be a stretch to say this. You know, the Rock and Sock Connection, even though they won the titles, they weren't like a lifelong tag team. The Hardys were. And they could just, in the end, end up wearing them down and taking them out. And that's what happened here.
Classic Hardys. Let's go.
Yes, it is.
Not too Hardys.
No.
Which is only all right.
No.
But, they do have a decent burger there. Anyway, why do I keep doing that? What is wrong with me?
It's all right.
We got the Brothers of Destruction versus the Freebirds. And, obviously they're employing the Freebird rule from time to time. And, there's a whole lot of misdirection and sleight of hand that goes on in this match. And the Freebirds pull out pretty much every dirty heel trick in the book to actually pull out the W on the Brothers of Destruction. Kane takes the pin, not the Undertaker, because that's just how it is. This is a very entertaining match. that he ends up getting a distraction on the referee. Michael Hayes hits Kane with the boot like they used to do. Boom, 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Yep.
Yep.
Well, that was how the Brothers of Destruction always lost. There was never a clean loss for them.
yeah. Yeah.
How could anybody beat them clean?
Yeah, I agree. But the Freebirds ended up taking them out here, and that'll round up our round 2, which is the right side here. So we got the left side already done last episode. Then we got the right, and we're going to go into the semifinals here, I think. I don't know. I'm kind of goofed up, but either way, look forward to that. It'll be
We're
happening.
almost there, basically, is what he's saying.
2 more weeks after this one here, and
Yep.
we'll be close to wrapping this up, and then we'll have to come up with some other segment that we're gonna ram down your guys' fucking throats. And if you don't listen to it, we're gonna probably not do much, but you're gonna find out what we're gonna do.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That sounds very ominous. You guys better watch out.
Well, watch out for this.
Would
So-
you fuck a witch without a condom?
Nope. But we got Warner Brothers Discovery, and they got a Discovery deal they got a deal update here. So you know how they're trying to split their assets, and then Max is going one way, and then Discovery's going the other. So Warner Brothers going one way, Discovery going the other way, and then Warner Brothers wants their shit to be sold to somebody. Well, it looks like was going to be Netflix. That's not happening, or it might not. Paramount. They ended up opening up their talks with Paramount again, and Paramount's offering $31 a share, which is more money and real money. The Netflix deal wasn't straight money like that. So it's looking like Paramount might get this, which I think is a pretty good, don't you? Like, Netflix doesn't need this. They're fine. Paramount.
Yeah.
Paramount
Could stand to get the boost a little bit. I agree.
Yeah, and I think that's better for AEW too, right?
Yep. 100% better for AEW and better for wrestling in general.
Yeah, it definitely is. And then having the well, it's funny too because Paramount has the UFC shit on it, but it's not WWE. So maybe it's not 100% better, but I think it is.
It's not a real conflict.
Yeah. Nothing really too much to talk about there, right, Dave? We just wanted to give a little update.
Just they're bidding it up. We're going to
Yeah.
see where it lands, and when we know, we'll let you know, and
I hope Paramount gets
we'll all know together.
Yeah, I really hope Paramount gets it.
I do
They
too.
need that content. Netflix doesn't need it, and they'll just fuck
And
it up
I wouldn't
anyways.
mind having more stuff to watch on Paramount.
Yeah, because we got it.
Yep.
I got Netflix too, but Netflix seems to screw everything up.
Yeah, it's for me, all they really got going for them right now is the WWE content. I don't really watch any of the other stuff that's on there. Maybe there'll be like a documentary that's hot that comes out from time to time or something.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Nothing I could think of. Well, speaking of things that I couldn't think of, Mayweather and Pacquiao are going to fight again. I'm
Money.
floored. I can't believe that this is happening, especially since it was just announced that he was going to fight Mike Tyson. So, I mean, this guy's just getting it in everywhere. Obviously, these are exhibition fights between, a little bit older gentlemen. But, it's going to be September 19th, 2026 at the Sphere in Vegas.
Well, this fight, the
You know what?
Pacquiao Mayweather is not an exhibition. It's going on
Oh,
their
it's not?
professional records. No, the Mike Tyson fight is an exhibition.
Oh,
The
wow.
Pacquiao Mayweather is a legit boxing match that's going to go on their official records.
Man,
It's going to be at the
that's
Sphere.
crazy.
Yeah, which is fucking nuts. It's going to break like a lot of modern viewership records.
Yeah.
It's going to be huge. And it's funny that like
Yeah.
Netflix is going for that live combat fucking sports shit with the Rousey thing and now this.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing well, and the events are well produced when I watch them.
Yeah.
There's not like a whole lot that I could shit on about them. I'd have to watch it in real time to be able to, like, oh, that was corny there or whatever. But I mean, I feel like they've done a pretty good job.
Yeah. Pacquiao actually came out of retirement last year. Fought to a draw against Mario Barrios, who's actually a pretty talented boxer. I don't know. This could be a boring fight, but either way, it's going to generate a lot of hype, a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's so much money here; it's ridiculous. They couldn't leave it on
Both
the
of
table.
these guys are gonna super get paid. Yeah, I mean it's
And you know what? You know the big reason why this is happening?
why.
Floyd didn't pay his taxes.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so he needs us to pay his taxes.
Well,
And Pacquiao has no money. He donated all of it, if you remember.
yes, I do. When he became a politician or whatever, didn't he?
Yeah, and I feel like this is going to give both of these guys a tremendous amount of money.
Hell yeah.
That's about it. Not
Well,
too much else to talk about there.
good for them. Get that bag, boys.
Yes. Why don't you tell us about the other bag that we might be talking about?
Well, we're gonna jump on into the OverMark photo album. This is a fast become a staple on the program, and people seem to like it, and we like it too. And my image is a 1987 NES Advantage controller ad from Toys R Us. I really love this ad. It totally screams the 80s. If you guys look at all the 80s colors and neon and stuff, I had this controller. It was
It's a winner.
awesome. Yeah. It worked the entire time that I had it. A lot of people had issues with these, with their sticks going bad and stuff like that.
I got a question for you.
What's that?
So on this ad here, it has two. Does it like inputs? Did it take two, or was it only one?
I remember it only having one.
Okay.
It just plugged into the, player 1 or player 2. That was it.
Well, that's weird that they have two.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Maybe they just liked the way it looked on the ad.
I remember using one of these back in the day, but man, I would have been young. The NES was it was during my time, but it came out before. But man, when I was playing it, I was like 4, 3. I was
I mean,
young.
even I was relatively young because I was 5 when it came out, and I was 6 when I got one. So it was like it would have been 88 when I got mine, and they came out, I think, in like late 86 or early 87. It wasn't.
I like how Toys R Us was like ingrained in the culture back in the day for kids. It was like the video games, any hit show that was out, they had all them anything for it.
Yep.
Like that place was nuts. I remember going in there.
I
and
am
just
a Toys
being
R Us
floored.
kid.
I only had one when I traveled to like my grandfather's. They didn't have a Toys R Us by me. I had a KB Toys near me, which was okay, but it wasn't nearly as big as a Toys R Us. Toys R Us is a fucking warehouse.
Yeah, Toys R Us was usually a standalone here,
Yeah.
and then KB would be in the mall.
Yep, that's how it was. KB Toys wasn't bad though. That's where I opened my first Charizard.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so I have my that
I
memory.
used to, the KB Toys at the mall, I used to buy the Batman the Animated Series action figures there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I bought a
that's the
lot of
first thing I
wrestling
think
ones.
of when I think of that.
Ones there. They had a lot of cool shit, man. See,
Yep.
their walls went up high, man. Like I remember them going up to the ceiling. They had so much
Literally.
toys there. They always had the coolest, newest shit. So I mean, it's not like it was a bad store by any means. It just
I just physically wasn't the same size as Toys
No.
R Us was all.
no. Toys R Us was like 20 of these motherfucking stores. I feel like.
Yeah, for people to understand, think of like Walmart.
But just toys.
Yeah, like Toys R Us was like not that big, not like a modern Walmart. It was probably like half of a modern Walmart, or like the size of an old department store at like the mall. No bigger than that. Fuck,
I used to collect
about half the size of a Walmart. Anyway, go ahead.
I used to collect Amiibo, and I only have one now. No, actually, I have two. But that big Yoshi, the Yarn Yoshi, that's an Amiibo, and it's a Toys R Us exclusive. Me and my sister drove up to Hagerstown from Cumberland. It's about an hour away to get that. I'll never forget that. It's I got rid of all my other Amiibo from the time I collected them. The other one I got since, so it wasn't a part of my original collection. But this one here, this Yoshi, I'll never get rid of that because me and Erica got it together. But Toys R Us exclusive.
Yeah.
So thank you, Toys R Us.
R.I.P. Toys R Us. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that probably miss Toys R Us. And hey, maybe that's an idea for a show thing. Maybe someday we'll do something to do with Toys R Us.
I think that'll be cool. Put that down in the idea thing if you can remember. But
Do it right now.
speaking of remember, we got my image here, and it's some early Pokemon concept art. which I think is awesome. So it's got Red on the bike. He's on the little PC, and then it's got him and Gary, or I guess his name was Blue. I think I'm bad at that. Wasn't that the rival's name? Blue in the originals. But yeah, and then you got the Pikachu, and the Charizard. I just really like this animation style. They ended up putting a lot of this stuff into the Pokemon guides, so you would see them through that. But these ones, I don't think were in any of that stuff. And there's more of this if you go out and look at it. I forget the artist's name, but were you into Pokemon, the original Game Boy games, when they first came out, Dave, or did it take you a little bit to jump on?
When they first came out, I was 15. And then a few months after that, I started getting laid and checked out of video games for probably about a year and a half.
Okay.
So it was something I had to come back to, and I never really got as super into it as what you and Brandon did.
All right. Well, I don't know. I just really like this old animation style. It's everything
cool.
these days has to be super complicated, and this is kind of looks like a watercolor type design a little bit, but I don't think it actually is. They kind of look like midgets to some extent. I don't know what the deal is there, but overall, I really like Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow. Just some of my favorite games ever.
They were cool, the early ones, because it was basically like a turn-based RPG.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of them still are. The only ones that aren't are like the one like Brandon recently got, and like a couple other ones.
Oh yeah, the one that he hated at first, but then I guess came around on.
He was talking negatively on it the other day. He's like, yeah, it's still not like the old ones.
Yeah, well, of course it's not.
Yep. Well,
nothing is like the old stuff.
Well, nothing's like what we're about to talk about now. Hit us with that, Dave.
Well, we're going to jump on in here to the OverMark MP3 folder, which is a cool spot and area. And what is happening there? Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So for this one, this is a song that everybody knows. And a personal story here. And I don't know, if you used to do this or what, but obviously when my friends and I would all be over, we haven't told you what the song is yet, but we're getting there. We would be playing this game, and then it would come time to do whatever we were going to eat, or we were doing other stuff beyond just playing the game. We would just pause the game and leave this music playing. It's the GoldenEye 64 watch theme, or the pause music that everybody knows. Yeah. What do you think about this song, TJ? I love it.
Hold on. I love it too. Back in the day, I was a little bit younger than you, so I probably wasn't. Actually, I did kind of leave it on, but not to just listen to this, but it was cool to listen to. But as I got older, I really realized how much I liked the soundtrack to this game, and this is just fucking awesome. You could sit in a goddamn fucking put this in a club, and I think everybody hell yeah, they'd be like.
A lot of the songs we picked from, we ended up going with this one.
Yeah.
But pretty much the whole soundtrack is bangers. We used to we would be and I've talked about this on the show before, where me and my friends on the weekend would pool all of our allowance money together, and we would go up to the corner store, and we would get cases of Surge and Slim Jims and just gas station junk food. And while we're doling out all the gas station junk food on the table, this is playing in the background, opening up a Surge, fucking GoldenEye playing in the background. Yeah.
Yeah, me and my friends used to play this shit all the time, multiplayer. Me and my stepbrothers would do it all the time too. I don't know. It's it never got old, and then you had all these different types of styles. You did the slappers, rockets, got golden guns only, big head. Then the campaign in the game's awesome too. But we're not here to review the game. But everybody loves fucking GoldenEye. But
oh yeah,
this music's awesome. They really outdid themselves. It has no good to be as good as it is, or no right to be as good as it is.
Speaking of Surge,
yeah,
when it came back for that bit of time, did you get any?
Yeah.
I got a fuckload of it, dude. They were selling it in those big cans.
Yep.
I got a whole big flat of them.
Still?
No.
You went
They're
through them
long
all?
gone.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I'm a degenerate. That shit was gone quick.
Well, speaking of something that was gone quick, it was the fights that happened over the weekend, Dave.
They did.
UFC Fight Night 267. This happened in the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. They were pretty good. So I'll start off, go from the top bottom. I'm not going to go over all of them. But yeah, Sean Strickland, who was the underdog, ended up defeating Anthony Hernandez. Pretty surprising, but Sean Strickland's pretty good. So yeah, and then another underdog thing here was Uros Medic ended up defeating Jeff Neal, which I predicted that was going to happen that way by
You did.
KO. Milquezo Costa defeated Dan Ige by TKO KO. I also thought that was going to be the outcome there. Sergey Spivak was also an underdog, ended up defeating Ante Dahilia or whatever, which I thought that was going to be the outcome as well. And then Jacoby Smith defeated Josiah Harrell, which that was, man, he beat the fuck out of him. That he's got a promising career.
Yeah, that was one of the highlights that I saw. I was like, damn, dude, beat
Yeah.
the shit out of that guy.
They were both undefeated, but you couldn't tell that one guy. They were both undefeated. But Michelle Pereira defeated Zachary Reese. He got robbed. Reese won that fight, and that's actually Pereira was the favorite. But I actually thought Reese was going to win the fight before that too. And I'm not going to run down the prelims really too much. Look how many unanimous decisions we have there, Dave.
Lot of fights going the distance on this card.
However, Jocelyn Edwards fucked Nora Cornell up bad. Like, she beat her up and then subbed her. It's pretty good. But anyway, K of the night, Uros Medic. Fight of the night was Leo versus Injakwani. And then sub of the night was Edwards versus Cornell. Pretty good fight card. And we're going to do a little quick preview of the fights happening this weekend. And I might not go over a lot of them because there are a lot of unknown names here. But it's a UFC Fight Night 268, Moreno versus Cavana. And that's going to start off with Brandon Moreno, who I'm sure everybody, if you've watched UFC, have seen him plenty of times. And he's always in super exciting fights. And this is actually a late replacement, Loner Cavana. Then we got Marlon Chito Vera versus David Black Spartan Martinez. Haven't really seen Martinez too much. Then we got Daniel Zellhuber versus Bobby King Green. Zellhuber should win that. And we got Edgar Chirias versus Felipe Bunez. No idea. And I don't know. I think that's probably all I want to talk about that. Pretty crappy little card there. I don't have the location on it. I'm sure this is some local card or some shit, but I will cover it after it happens. There's just kind of no point going over a whole bunch of people that nobody knows.
That's true. Fuck them.
Yep. Well,
Good luck in your fights, though. Not fuck them, but yeah.
I think Luna versus Pacquiao should be good. Rodriguez versus Borjas. Chirias versus Bunez. Zellhuber versus Bobby Green. But yeah, we will see when the time comes. And
We will see what we see when we see it.
Take us to what the time comes now, Dave.
Well, this is a big one. Everybody, strap on your poop bag.
Yeah, we got them on. They're on.
Yep. And get ready, because we got a big Channel 3 today. We're deep diving the Sega Nomad, and this is one of those things that unfortunately I didn't own and TJ doesn't have, which I know you guys out there are going, oh my God, even TJ doesn't have it. I know. But they're rare, they're expensive, and we didn't necessarily know how much we wanted them until we were prepping for this. And then it's like, well, now I gotta have one. So, stuff happens. I'm real excited about this. We're just gonna jump right into it. There's a bunch of facts and stuff for us to talk about, and we're gonna talk to you and not at you, because people hate that. But just a little bit of information here, and it came out in October of 1995, October 10th. How old were you then, TJ? October 95.
1 month away from being 6.
I would have been, I think, 12 or 11. Let's see. 92. I was 12 or going on 13, I think. So I was like the perfect range for this. But I was a Super Nintendo kid, and we were kind of broke. And I think at this point, PlayStation was already out. If not, it was about to come out, and I was putting all my eggs into the PlayStation basket because
Not a bad basket to put your eggs in.
yeah, you have to pick one, and I figured picking the new emerging system that was going to have Final Fantasy VII was a better choice than the handheld Sega Genesis at the time. But maybe I messed up. But this thing had a launch price of $179, which is sounds inexpensive now, but when you adjust it for inflation, it's $365.
Yeah.
So relatively competitively priced.
That's how much it costs now.
Yeah. I mean, the way when TJ and I were looking at them online, just ones that weren't necessarily in the greatest condition were about that price. So you're looking at about $500 and higher for ones that are in good shape, and that's not even ones that have some of the cool modern things that we'll talk about here in a minute. But this was a U.S. only release. Japan was all in on the Saturn at this point. It was super late in the Genesis life cycle, and honestly, the Saturn was already out. It had been out on the market almost a year at this point. It had come out November of '94 in Japan, and May 11th in '95 in the U.S. So it had been out, for almost 6 months at that point by the time that the Nomad came out. So it was kind of a wonky launches stacked on top of each other.
That's Sega.
And a lot of kids, a lot of kids had to make a choice, like myself included. Which thing are you picking? So you picking the Nomad, you picking the Sega Saturn, or you picking the PlayStation, or you picking the Nintendo 64. That's kind of where we're at.
Most people aren't picking the Nomad. You already have
No.
the Genesis, and you probably didn't need it to be handheld. You're looking forward to the future, the PlayStation, the Nintendo 64. And if you
Right.
want to stay with Sega, you're looking Saturn. I mean, shit, at that point, you're probably even looking the 32X before you would the Nomad.
Yeah, which doesn't actually work with the Nomad. It's something we looked into.
It does
But
not.
yeah, it was bold hardware move at the time. Sega was already kind of moving to the 32-bit era, but it was just not great time. If they would have probably put this out at a different time with better support, would have been a smash in the handheld market. But like we discussed before, the two entities of Sega were on different pages with what they were doing, so it is what it is. So we're not here to talk about that, though. We're talking about the Nomad. Let's jump more into it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it there, TJ, so that I'm not just doing the whole thing here.
Well, I mean, Sega was kind of the masters, I feel like, at the time of making cool hardware. Experimental stuff that was like kind of stood above the other ones in term. It's mainly when it comes to handhelds, especially the Game Gear. It was the only one back in the day that had the backlit screen, so it's not a surprise that the Nomad had the backlit screen too. This was a 3.25 backlit color LCD, and they have those cool mods. You could literally just go through you could spend a lot of money on upgrading your Nomad, but we're not really here to go over all the mods. But I have my Game Boy Advance that has IPS mod, and it definitely makes a pretty big difference. They get way more bright, so you can see a lot of the details that you couldn't normally see. But it did have that 6-button controller layout, which I thought was pretty good, and that was important because there was a lot of fighting games that you would have had on your Nomad, which is cool because if you had the Genesis, then you already can bring your library straight over. So at least if you did take the plunge into getting this, you wouldn't have had to buy this huge library. And if you were buying used, you could have bought games cheap for your new handheld, right?
Yep. And it had the AV out so you could plug it into your TV, and it had a port for you to plug in a second controller, so you literally could just portable Sega Genesis.
Well, you could put it on the TV too. It was literally a Switch
exactly.
before the Switch existed. This was, how many years was that before? Like almost 30 years?
Almost, I think it was almost 20.
Oh, well,
2017 is when Switch came out.
Yeah, you're right. I'm terrible with timing, but either way,
That's
man,
okay. Me too. A long time.
yeah, it's a lot of years before that, and I just think it's pretty amazing that, again, like how we were talking about how the Dreamcast was ahead of its time. This was ahead of its time in every way, I'm gonna bring my you could sit there and like be playing your game, and then somebody's like, "Man, I wish I could play." It's like, oh, no problem. Plug it right into there, right?
Yeah, boom.
Yeah, but if
And
you
you're both
didn't,
playing.
if you didn't have the AV output, this thing required 6 AA batteries, and for most people, and I think with the Game Gear too, that's a big reason why that didn't succeed. It required a lot of batteries, and a lot of people didn't know about all these add-ons back in the day, and they didn't have money to get the add-ons, so they didn't happen, and you're screwed at that point. You're just going to fly through these batteries, and it lasted roughly 2 to 3 hours. Not good.
Nope.
Six
Had like
AA's.
accessory battery packs and stuff that you could supplement it, but yeah, it wasn't great.
It was huge
Most
too.
people did you had a home power supply that you could plug into the wall, or like a car power supply that you could plug into the car. So just like on the Game Gear, I imagine most people probably just rolled with that, especially on like a long car trip.
Yeah, you're right. But the form factor kind of wasn't very comfortable. It was more like a block. It was like a square,
Big old rectangle, like
It didn't fit into your hands as well as the Game Gear did. I feel like I like the Game Gear. I've held a Nomad before, by the way. I just never owned one, so I do know what it feels like to hold one. And the Game Gear definitely felt like a better portable option. But I mean, even that thing's huge. You could kill a man with it if you got creative. You could do the same thing with the Nomad, though too as well. But I want to take this conversation to kind of a different direction. So, like, this comes out. It's under the Christmas tree in '95. Are you excited? Are you upset? What's your reaction?
I mean, I'm not gonna be upset about this. I would be probably initially stoked that it wasn't a PlayStation, but that would go away relatively quickly when I started playing my portable Sega Genesis. Like when I brought that shit to school the following whenever, and I'm showing all my friends my Nomad, probably be feeling pretty good, and I would have probably ended up getting a PlayStation ultimately the next year for Christmas. So, had I got the Nomad that first year, I'm sure I would have been in a good spot still.
And I at least feel like one thing with the Nomad being a handheld is like it probably held its replay value more than a lot of handhelds at the time because nothing could compete with this thing.
I mean, the library that it had was just insane.
Well, and the specs.
Yeah, the
realistically, the Game Boy couldn't do
realistically,
this.
yeah, nothing from a technical aspect could compete with it on the handheld market until Game Boy Advance came out, and that was 2001. So that was 6 years.
I don't really know the specs of the Neo Geo, so I think that might be somewhat like the I don't know, what was that thing called? Was it the Neo Geo, that handheld at the time?
I can't even.
I just remember hold on, let me pull that up.
While he's doing that, though, circling back to the Game Boy Advance, literally didn't have a TV out. It wasn't a portable Super Nintendo or anything like that. It had its own library. It was and while it was 32-bit, it wasn't. It was more like a
Neo Geo
juiced up
X.
Super Nintendo than a PlayStation in terms of. What was the Neo Geo X? When did that come out?
I don't know. I'm doing a lot of shit. It's a Neo Geo Pocket. It's a series of handheld game consoles developed and manufactured by a Japanese video game. It's SNK, and it came out in 1998 until 2001. I remember seeing these things at GameStop. They were selling them, but they never really took off. They seem like
40-hour battery life.
Yeah, they seem like they look pretty impressive for the time. But again, what do I know? It says it has a 160 by 152 pixel. So this still wasn't better than the Genesis.
Nah.
So
the layout's not great on it. The color is cool. They got a bunch of different colors.
It's probably a better handheld though. Still with the battery life and the portability, I'd say it does.
40-hour battery life is nuts.
And it's small. This thing is pretty tiny in comparison. So
Yep.
you got trade-offs, but I mean that's why the Game Boy did so well. It was portable, and then they obviously upgraded it to the color, but the battery life was awesome, and it only took 2 batteries. So did the original take 2 or 4? I know the Pocket and the color only took 2.
I think the original took 4.
That stinks, but it lasted a while, I'd imagine.
That was awesome. I played so much Tetris on that original one.
So I only used other people's original Game Boy, but my first Game Boy was a Game Boy Pocket. I actually had a Game Gear before I had a Game Boy. So
Same.
yeah, which was fucking awesome. I kind of felt like the Game Boy was a downgrade in comparison. And all the Sonic games on the Game Gear were really awesome, but the ones on the Nomad were a huge step above.
So much Sonic 2 on Game Gear.
Yeah, but the Sonic 2 Genesis version way better.
Way better. Way better.
I like the music that was on the Game Gear though, but I mean, and again, like it's like the Genesis, like a generation and a half late. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, damn. And speaking of late, like we were saying before, really in terms of concept, the industry didn't catch up for almost 20 years or over 20 years. 95 to 2017.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
This thing sold under 1 million units or fewer, which is not very good.
And then just to touch on real quick, nowadays people are modding these things. Like he had said earlier, they're doing these IPS screen mods. I didn't even know that was a thing really, and until TJ had talked about them, and I hadn't really seen a lot of it. And then when we were doing the prep for this, I was seeing these with the screen mods versus a non-screen, and bro, it's insane how it looks.
Yeah, they look amazing.
They're doing lithium battery mods to them, where basically they're fitting a cell phone battery inside of the case of it to give you like 9 hours worth of battery life, or 4 to 6 hours, I can't remember, something like that. USB-C charging. I mean, it's all they have. Recap mods, audio mods. This I was diving into this shit so much. This Oleg Endo guy, he makes a mod kit that seems to be kind of the modern standard for modding the Nomad. I couldn't find his store, so if you guys know where it is, comment on that, because that's something that I'll be interested in once I get one of these things. I watched videos of the guy doing the mod. It's nuts how it ends up being afterwards. I don't know. It's crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
It's kind of sad though, how this didn't work out, because they had the 32X and they had the Saturn, and the Saturn used 2 of the 32X's chips, so they ended up cannibalizing. It was just how you talked earlier. Sega US wanted to keep supporting the Genesis, and Sega Japan didn't. But I don't see any reason why, at the very least, you could have kept the Saturn going and then keep making these Nomads. And I feel like you could have kept getting the format even smaller, and you could have supported this for years and years afterwards. I mean, the people could have kept making these cheaper games for the Genesis. I don't know. It's just another blunder, man.
Yep. And it's a real unfortunate one for all of us in the playing old games field. I don't know what else to call it. Retro gaming enjoyers, or whatever kind of malarkey that people are calling it these days. But yeah. It was literally the first true portable home console. Super early hybrid. It was region free, so you could play Japanese games on it.
Even better.
Way ahead of its time.
Yeah. Funny enough, the Switch for the most part is region free too. So I feel like the Switch literally saw this console and was like, "Man, let's do it. This is it."
Yep.
They nailed it, and they did, didn't they? Sega itself was the problem.
Tale as old as time with Sega. It's unfortunate, that whole mismanagement. Well, since we're talking about Sega, why don't we continue to talk about Sega, and we'll talk about what is your favorite Sega Genesis game, TJ?
I could have gone for both the ones that you ended up picking, but I wanted to go different. I feel like everybody, to some extent, picks the one that you picked, but why wouldn't they? It's probably the best game that Genesis has. Or not. It just depends on what you like. But I went with Sonic & Knuckles. I feel like it's an obvious upgrade. It looks way better. They have all these different upgrades. It just adds a lot of different gameplay features. It's got that lock-on tech. I mean, whatever cartridge do you know that has a hinge on it? There's a whole bunch of reasons to like this game. It lets you play as Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I mean, come on,
Yeah. It's a really, really cool concept in addition to being a cool game that they came out with. It was very ambitious,
Yeah,
which
it
is
was.
that's another Sega thing. There's a lot of great things to be said for Sega's ambition, and this was another one of those. Well,
What's
for
yours,
me, it
Dave?
was gun to my head right now. I'm picking between these two. I'm going Sonic 2. It was a toss up between Sonic 2 or Streets of Rage 2. Both of those games were awesome. Man, Streets of Rage 2, I spent a lot of time playing that. But I spent more time playing Sonic 2, and it's when I was watching videos about these and then I fired up the emulators, Sonic 2 felt more nostalgic and fun. So it's Sonic 2. And like TJ had said when he was doing his evaluation, I feel like probably most people go with Sonic 2. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? It's a really awesome game, and most people didn't play Sonic the Hedgehog 1. They started with 2.
Yep.
Because that's when the Genesis really took off, and that's when they were bundling it with everything when that game took off. So most people had that. But I mean, why wouldn't you? So Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is probably a better game than the one I picked. I just picked Sonic and Knuckles for a couple technical different reasons, and it just hold a soft spot in my heart. But I think
Well, it's whatever your favorite is. It's
Yeah.
not what is the quote unquote
you're
best
right.
or highest selling. So
Correct. But we
So
both got good choices.
for our choices.
Yeah, 2 and 3. Well, part of 3. 3's technically Sonic and Knuckles, which I guess that's what I picked. I didn't pick Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which would have been the full package of the both games.
Did it work with 1 as well or just 2?
What is it?
The Sonic and Knuckles. Did it work with Sonic 1
I don't know.
or just 2?
I think it's just 2. I could be
Still
wrong
very-
though about that. Yeah, could be
Still
wrong.
very-
But you looking it up real quick?
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Okay. I think that being said, though, we're going to talk about our last topic of the evening here, and it's also video game related, and it's going to be the WoW Midnight Early Access. It's going to be Thursday, 2/26. So what is that? This midnight? Like, is it coming out tonight or tomorrow midnight?
Tomorrow. Not at midnight. It's 6 Eastern Standard Time. So tomorrow, which is Thursday, at 6, it will be live for the early access. So like people that pre-bought it.
I kept saying midnight because that's the name.
Right. So it messes you up and makes you think that it's a midnight release. But no, it comes out at 6 p.m. I plan on degenerately leveling mostly. I had initially taken the day off, but I retracted it. I'm not going to waste a vacation day for this.
That's smart.
Yeah, I've got the whole weekend to level. It probably takes about 10 hours, I think. It's maybe 12. It's not very long anymore. I level every expansion, so it's hard to not, but at this point, I don't know how much that I'll be actually playing beyond that. But maybe there'll be a little bit of might video a little bit of what's going on and stuff like that. I'll have to get my OBS properly set back up, but I got some stuff that I'm going to be doing with that and WoW tonight anyway, just to make sure that I'm ready for tomorrow anyhow. So what do you think, TJ? You gonna fire it up? I know you ended up leveling and playing a little with us last expansion.
Nah, I'm not really interested, man.
I don't blame you.
I don't want to spend the money. I don't know. Just not anything I'm really interested in. If I was going to play WoW, I got other WoW I'd play than that.
$90 is a lot when you frame
It's
it
90?
that way. Yeah.
That sucks.
Well, yeah, it's to be able to get the early access essentially.
Yeah,
You got to buy the special edition.
I don't want the early access. I don't want it at all. So let alone early access.
Well, you're kind of talking me out of playing it here. Maybe I'll just keep this $90 and just blow it on Amazon or something. But
I don't know. I just know that like the leveling like used to be fun to me, but it's like leveling's nothing crazy when it's like you're just blowing through shit, killing 20 mobs at a time, not paying attention to anything, not even reading the quest because all the stuff sucks. And well, I'm max level. I guess I'm done because I definitely know I don't want to do 5 bans and I don't want to raid. So there's just nothing left. It's not COVID. It's not vanilla WoW. And I can't do it. I wish I could. I wish I was unemployed. I probably would be playing World of Warcraft, but it's tough to play, man, when you're tired. And, I try to do the other part of my focus is trying to do this podcast. And, we don't spend a shit ton of time on it, but it does take time to do this. Oh, there's Alexa. I guess that's what the dogs were whimpering her about. But, I feel free not playing World of Warcraft. I'm really enjoying it. And
I get that.
It's consumed a lot of my life, and I appreciate every second of that. I don't regret that for a minute, but it's been really nice not playing, and I don't have any intentions of changing that.
Our commitment is basically this now.
What is it?
Our commitment is basically this.
I thought you were talking about what's in your hand when you were saying that, but yeah.
Oh no, this is my headset pieces.
I'm enjoying doing the podcast. I'm enjoying being creative, and I feel like it's more healthy, the stuff that I'm doing, the way that I'm doing it, trying to think of angles, ideas, stuff to talk about, regardless of what anybody thinks. We do have a little bit of AI assistant on the stuff we do. Mainly are some of our thumbnails, which won't be going on the gaming channel anymore, by the way. Since you guys aren't into that, I'll start doing those by hand. The wrestling stuff, it doesn't seem like people care as much, so we're going to be using the thumbnails, the AI assistants for the thumbnails for wrestling. But on the other hand, it doesn't write our scripts. It does sometimes. We'll have it place it for us, and we'll have it
give
proofread.
us bullet points organized and shit for us.
It's not writing our scripts. It's not writing.
We don't really have
Twitter
a
post.
script either. It's like just an outline.
Format. Yeah, we have like a format with stuff that just to talk about. But yeah, we're pretty much just us. So any of the ideas that we come up, it's our brain. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going for. I'm just rambling. I'm just saying though. I'm enjoying the creative process, and I don't want WoW to take away from that. And I don't know, it won't, because I'm just not interested in it. It won't hold my draw. I'll just waste my money. I just know who I am at this point. I'm a fucking 37-year-old man. I should be able to know at this point if I'm gonna want to jump into that, right?
Yeah, I mean, you do. You already know.
Yeah. If
hey, circling back though. Oh, go ahead.
I just said if we had like 25, if we had the guys playing again, maybe, but it's just not. It's not happening.
Yeah, I mean it'll never be like it was in 2019.
No, it won't. What were you gonna say?
But we're circling back to this Sonic and Knuckles. Obviously, it says here when you insert the Sonic 2, it unlocks Knuckles in Sonic 2, where you can play as Knuckles in that, obviously. If the player attaches any other Genesis games released prior to Sonic and Knuckles,
the minigame,
a screen with a Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles and Robotnik pops up stating no way. And from here, you can access a minigame based on Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles Chaos Emeralds special stages. Okay. The attached cartridge, this is something I did not know, determines the special stage layout. If the player attaches the original Sonic the Hedgehog, they're able to access all of the possible variations of the special stages, each with a unique level number and corresponding password. This game
cool.
is named Blue Sphere in the Sonic Mega Collection and Blue Spheres in Sonic Origins. I didn't know that.
Me either. Now we do.
Hell yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that we need to be doing. Fucking we need to do a break. We could do a little fucking video on the lock-on technology. Like we could talk about Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, then the lock-on tech itself, what it does exactly, what games it works with, and it wouldn't have to be long, but I think that'd be awesome. Another idea.
I think it would be awesome too, yeah.
Yep.
And it would be a good excuse to use your new toys. Yeah,
it would. Yeah. Well, I got another thing that's coming in the mail. We'll talk about that when it's here. Keep you guys a surprise, but it's pretty cool, and it's gonna be a tool that we're gonna be using a lot with our gaming content. I feel like it should be. I think we're gonna have some of the best looking real hardware footage that's available on YouTube. So, and you'll be getting that right here to some extent, but mainly on the OverMark Gaming podcast or OverMark Gaming YouTube channel, which is it's our sister channel. It's me and Dave. But if you're subscribed to this, you should subscribe to that too, because you'll be getting, if you really like the gaming stuff, you'll be getting a little bit more of that over there, as opposed to the mix of all of our kinds of content in the main channel.
Random thing real quick, since we were talking about Sonic and Knuckles. It came out about the same time as Donkey Kong Country.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well,
so two amazing games. What happens if you put Donkey Kong
3?
What happens if you put Donkey Kong Country on top of the game?
I don't know. We'll have to figure that out.
Knuckles.
We'll have to see if we can make an adapter.
That would make that game so easy, flying around as Knuckles.
Bro, think about this. You know how people do all these games where like they put the other characters, they're like doing Double Dragon, where it's like the $1 million man from the wrestling game going through beating everybody up.
Yeah.
I wonder how they do that, and then we could do that with Knuckles in Donkey Kong Country.
That's something to think about.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't be impossible. Talk to some people, get some things going.
Probably get sued by Rare, Nintendo, and Sega.
Fuck them. We'll sue them for sexual harassment.
Yeah, the guy from Nintendo totally grabbed my hog.
Yeah, and he's out of here. $6 million. Right here.
That's right.
$6 million.
We'll forget all about it.
Yep, and you're gonna forget all about it too, or else.
Yep. Or else.
Oh yeah, you put that thing away, man. Don't let them know what you're using. That's like Clue. You can't put the murder weapon out there. Yeah.
It was Dave with the electric lighter.
Well, speaking of Clue, Dave, we signing out of here?
Yeah, I got to figure out what I'm going to do for dinner, because I don't have a clue about that. No. What are you doing for dinner tonight?
I already ate.
Fuck, what'd you have?
I went to Wendy's. I got a plain double stack, Baconator fries, and a 10-piece nugget. And some of their spicy, I think it's scorching hot. It's pretty good. They didn't have real buffalo sauce for the longest time. They now do.
I'm not crazy about their nuggets anymore. I used to really like them. They were like my favorite fast food nuggets.
It's per location. I'm telling you.
That makes sense.
They're pretty similar to one I go to, but they are a little bit different than what they used to be.
I like the double stack there. I miss the yellow Wendy's, Biggie size and all that. I feel like it was better then, and the different fries then, much better.
My dogs are upset. They're just sitting down there whining.
Man. Well, let's get the hell out of here so that we'll give Rocky and Michael all your love, all of our love to the Overmaniacs. We'll see you guys next time. TJ, get us out of here.
All right. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. Like always, I appreciate anybody for listening. Give us a like, give us a sub, or not. Tell us to go fuck ourselves. We don't care. But we're going to get on out of here. We'll see you guys later. We hope you have a good one. And I was going to say some weird saying, but it's probably not appropriate. So take it easy.
Deuces, ooses.